Yo, what you saying? I'm back. Again, it's been a while, but I'm here. And I want to talk about something, which is this idea that you are on self-improvement, right? On self-improvement. Now, I'm not a fan of saying that you're on certain things. This goes back to NoFap. I used to speak about this a lot. And people would say they're on NoFap. That's the wrong mentality, because by saying that you're on something, it implies that eventually you're going to get off, and it also implies that you're trapped into this thing, and if you do the thing, you are like a failure and you just hate yourself. And that shouldn't be the case. The case should just be that you identify as someone. You just don't do the thing. Simple as, like, yeah, I just don't do this. It's whatever. Simple. And then maybe you do it every so, like, if you do it, it doesn't really change anything, because it's not often enough for it to actually be part of your identity. For example, I am someone who eats healthy, right? But if I will eat unhealthy occasionally, but that doesn't mean that I'm unhealthy. If I occasionally eat unhealthily, every 2 weeks I have like a cheat meal, that doesn't change the fact that I'm a healthy person, because it's so infrequent that it doesn't affect me long term, right? And this is the thing of being on self-improvement. By saying you're on self-improvement, what at least I believe from that is that you are following this like one way of doing things. You are following this one way of life and not considering the fact that maybe you can achieve your goals, and maybe you can get to a certain point in life of what you define as success through doing things which don't have to perfectly align with this one way of improving yourself. This is what a lot of these like self-improvement creators online do, is they create this image of what self-improvement should be, and they get a lot of these guys onto it, which is great because it means they're actually improving their life, and their life is going to be better than if they were just fucking around all day doing nothing, and they were just fucking masturbating and watching fucking hentai or some shit, right? Of course it's going to be better, but if all you're doing is following this one way of doing things, it limits your capacity to really, truly just be yourself, because the truth is not all of us want to be some fucking YouTube entrepreneur, right? Well, maybe I do in a sense, right? But not everyone wants to do that, and not everyone wants to build some fucking self-improvement YouTube channel, and not everyone wants to build like a 10 out of 10 physique, and not everyone wants to do all these things which are laid out in this thing of self-improvement. Not everyone is the same, and a lot of people have interests which maybe don't align with this cookie cutter way of self-improvement that's been created. For example, things like video games, movies, TV, anime, even though that's technically TV, fiction books. I mean, just so many different things like have been villainized because they're deemed as a waste of time. And it feels like everything now has to be, every action that you take when you're now on self-improvement has to be for the sake of it, has to somehow contribute to your goals going forward. And I do understand that, but I feel like in this space, it's so villainized to just have interests which maybe don't align with, self-improvement. And whenever you actually want to do something like read a fiction book or watch a film or play a video game, you feel like you can't, and you feel like you're going against self-improvement because you're doing so. And yeah, to an extent, these things are a waste of time if you're not, if you're over-consuming them, and they're a massive part of your life, where it's like, for example, you play loads of video games, but like you're not like if you're like an esports gamer, you're a fucking streamer, that's different. But for most of you, like, you're not. And so video games are kind of a waste of time, and you can make your life into a video game. That's the much, more, that's just the better way to go into life, is just making your life a video game rather than playing video games, right? That's my opinion. But still, that's not to say that you can never play video games again. And this is what a lot of young guys will do. They'll hear these people they look up to say you can never play video games again, and then anyone who even remotely plays video games, even for like an hour a week with some of their friends because it's fun, because they genuinely enjoy doing it and it's actually like a treat, they get villainized and they get called fucking, oh, you're a Jeffrey, or like, oh, you're a degenerate, because they do that. It doesn't align with this one way of self-improvement. And the truth is everyone's different. That's just the truth of the matter. And we have to accept that a lot of people have different interests. For example, I really love film. I love movies. I love stories. And if I was to deny that part of myself, I just wouldn't be my authentic self. I wouldn't be as fulfilled. That's the truth. But a lot of guys, they'll tell you, oh, movies are a waste of time. No, just focus on, read this fucking self-improvement book instead. Watch this course, watch this Huberman podcast, all this fucking bullshit. But that's just more information. That's more information. And it seems like nowadays, everyone's just consuming all this fucking new input of things to do, of things to learn. They're spending so much time learning and consuming all this fucking self-help content. And they get overwhelmed and they keep changing their mind fucking every 2 weeks because they can't decide on anything because they keep taking in so much of this fucking self-improvement influence. And so don't deny the true parts of yourself. Of course, don't get mixed up in what you truly are interested in, and also don't do certain things to an extent where it's actually like you're actually wasting your time and you're doing these things way too often to where it's actually negatively impacting your ability to improve your life. But you can still achieve success, however you define it, by doing certain things and by following and pursuing your interests. Because this is what being on self-improvement does. It denies you and it stops you from actually pursuing certain things or trying certain things because they don't fit this image of self-improvement. Because you've been convinced that you can never do certain things, or doing this is degenerate, or doing that is degenerate by these people online. And it's like, and then people wonder why they're not fulfilled. You know, they're improving their lives, but they wonder why they're not fulfilled. And it's because you're improving your life, yeah, but you're doing it in a way that someone told you to and not authentically for yourself. And the truth is, self-improvement, it's a lifelong journey. It's a lifestyle. It's not something that you're just on and then one day you come off it. I even remember someone fucking asking a question once I saw, of being like, oh, do you ever think you'll come off self-improvement? I'm like, what are you talking about? I'm not really on it in the first place. I'm just improving my life. I'm just trying my best. The mentality should be, in my opinion, is you're just trying your best to improve every single day. And that's just what matters. And you're improving in a way that's authentic to you. You're not improving in a way where you're denying certain parts of yourself because you're afraid of what other people might tell you. You're afraid of what 14-year-olds who've had no life experience and done nothing with their lives, whose only fucking thought process is, oh, but he said this, so it's true. You're denying yourself because of what they think. And it's just bullshit, and it's not a good way to live, where all you're doing is living for someone else. And yes, by taking this advice and stuff, yeah, you will live a better life than otherwise, of course you will. But there's levels to this, and I think there's the level where you get onto self-improvement, and there's the level where you realize that there's actually parts of you that you want to explore. There's actually interests that you want to pursue and that you want to have in your life because you actually enjoy having them in your life. And you don't deny them just because you've been told by people online or these fucking communities of like 12-year-olds who think they know everything, telling you that you're a Jeffrey or you're a fucking degenerate for having an interest outside of the gym and meditation and reading books. You're allowed to. It's okay. This is the whole thing. Everyone's an individual. Everyone is their own person, and they're allowed to pursue their own interests. And of course, yeah, draw the line. There is a line, of course, to where you take it too far, and it actually takes away from your ability to improve your life, and you're just wasting time at that point. But I think you're smart enough to understand moderation. And it seems like moderation, even in this fucking self-improvement space, moderation is so villainized. Like, no, you cannot do anything in moderation. Oh, it's like, well, yeah, you can, though. Of course you fucking can. What? I eat unhealthy food every once in a while, but I don't deep it because I know that overall I'm eating very healthy and it's fine. It doesn't affect me long term, and I can enjoy the food that's more unhealthy when I have it. I don't overthink these things. This is what a lot of people do. They just overthink. It's because they're always consuming this new fucking input or self-improvement input, and they only see one way of doing things because they've been told by someone that's the only way. When they forget that's just one person. That's one fucking person who's lived a certain life and they've had certain experiences which have gotten to them to that point, but they're not you. They don't know what you truly want. They don't know who you truly are. So don't see yourself as on self-improvement. See yourself as someone who's just trying their best to improve every single day and is improving in a way which is authentic to them. And you're not living this one way of doing things and one way of living life and denying certain interests and aspects of yourself just because you think it makes you a degenerate or a fucking Jeffrey or whatever these fucking terms used nowadays. So don't deny those parts of yourself and just see yourself as someone who's trying your best to improve every single day and actually putting in some effort, and you're seeing results and you're not denying the parts of yourself which are really authentic to you because you are yourself, and it's okay to have certain interests which maybe don't align with this one way of self-improvement. It's a shallow way to live life. It's just sad that you will deny parts of yourself because you don't think you're allowed to do them, because now you're on self-improvement. Now you're on self-improvement. That means that you are forbidden from doing certain things. It's fucking bullshit. You can do things in moderation. Oh, but no, you can't do things in moderation. You have to go extreme. Like, shut up. You're fucking 12. Be quiet. Anyway. But yeah, boys, that's just the video for today. You can do things in moderation. I don't see why people are so villainized. They just villainize moderation so much. Oh, you can't play video games because you wouldn't fucking smoke heroin every sort. Like, you cannot compare the two. Oh, I saw a comment one time saying that. That's such a shit comparison. All right. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you got some value, and I hope that from now on you do not see yourself as someone who's on self-improvement, and you actually allow yourself to explore your actual interests and dive into things which maybe you wouldn't have before because you denied it because you were on self-improvement. So yeah, until the next one, stay focused.